I recently interviewed branding expert Robert Jones for my Art and Communication podcast. And Robert's a brand strategist who spent 30 years at the world's leading brand consultancy, Wolff Olins. He's also the author of 2 books on the subject, The Big Idea and Branding, A Very Short Introduction. Before the interview, I was preparing questions, and I really wanted these questions to get to the guts of things as soon as possible. I wanted to dissect the components of branding like an autopsy and splay all the bits out on a large table for examination. And I wanted to see how one bit affected the other, to see if you needed all the bits or just a few, and what parts were crucial for success. So my first question was, what's your definition of a brand? And that seems like a basic question, right? The thing is, before I could really go into it and discuss ideas and techniques around brand, it felt necessary to define the parameters around the subject. You see, even though brands have been around and they've been studied by numerous experts such as economists, marketers, designers, organizational specialists, psychologists, philosophers, social theorists, and cultural critics, very few of them agree what a brand is. So, for example, David Ogilvy, who's known as the father of advertising, he defines a brand as the intangible sum of a product's attributes: its name, packaging and price, its history, its reputation, and the way it's advertised. Whereas the Dictionary of Brand defines a brand as a person's perception of a product, service, experience, or organization. And my personal experience of brand building is from 2 points of view. The first, communicating a brand from an advertising and marketing perspective, so expressing a thing that already exists in the world. And secondly, from a creative perspective, in which I'd create a thing that doesn't yet exist in the world. So my shorthand to describe a brand has always been something like this: a set of ideas, beliefs, values, and meanings attached to an identity. And as you can see, my definition is different. And when I asked Robert, his answer was also different from all the definitions I've mentioned so far. So if you'd like to find out how Robert answered the question, sign up to my Art and Communication podcast so you don't miss the launch.